All right, guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Goals and Game Plans Podcast, and I'm your host, Jaleesa. Um, so I want to go ahead and get straight into the video. I didn't make a video in a couple of days, so I wanted to go ahead and get into the video. I am going to be talking about the Indiana Fever and my take on game number 2 for preseason. Um, because I kind of covered a little bit of that in the other video. All right, but before we get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notification bell on so you'll know whenever I'm going live or post any content to my channel. All right, so make sure you share this live. All right, let's go. Let's get into it. All right, so game number 2. Um, they played against Dallas. And before I go all the way into Indiana, let me talk about Dallas real quick. Dallas looked pretty good. I want to see how the rest of their year goes and what is going to happen with them as far as lineups and the different schemes that they run and stuff like that. But they looked pretty good to me, in my opinion. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, this is about Indiana Fever and what I saw. I think the game was going really, really well up until I think maybe second quarter, top of the third quarter, and Indiana just had the whole game. Their defense was just not there. I think Ravens defense is again, it's a master class and it needs to be studied because what she was able to do is what she's been doing. But that energy that she brings on the defensive end needs to be um needs to be um it need to be talked about. I'm sorry guys, I'm replying to the message. All right. But yeah, it needs to be talked about. What she's doing and all of that for the Indiana Fever, it definitely needs to be talked about. Um I think she brought the defensive intensity that she's been bringing, and she's actually bringing the offense that she needs, and she understands when you make a turnover, get back into the play. She went right back. She had a turnover. She went right back and got the ball back. She didn't hang her head down. And this was something Stephanie White emphasized during the press post game conference about Ravens thought process for the game. I think she ended up with like 5 steals. Um, and I think maybe 5 assists, 8 assists, something like that. But I just know she was doing her thing. Like Raven was doing her thing defensively. Um, the more time she gets, the better it will be. I think Indiana has some things they need to discuss. Stephanie White did bring it up in the post game conference about their defensive intensity and how to go and find that. Of course, Ty Harris is not playing right now. Leah Boston's not playing right now. Um, and to be honest, these are preseason. I think Ty's. I don't know if she's hurt or she got hurt, but she didn't play. Aaliyah has not played preseason as well. So these are things that people got to take into consideration. The flow of the game will definitely change. Those inside passes that Raven would make to a big, she knows how to make them with Aaliyah. So her learning to make them with other players, I think her and um Timpson, Michaela Timpson, I think that's her name. I think they were making a good duo off the bench. I like that Stephanie White put her out there with her in that sense. I think Raven needs to be out there more when Kelsey Mitchell's out there. I would like to see more of that with her, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston. And of course, we won't see that until their regular season game, which will take place on May 9th. So I'm interested to see how that goes and how that's going to play out. So let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments. Let me know what else you want me to address or talk about regarding the fever. I'm not going to be covering just the fever. I like all women's basketball, but my team is the Las Vegas Aces. But I will be covering all of the Gamecock rookies and the teams that they play for. So Fever will be one because I am supporting Raven Johnson. And of course, they had a lot of views. People are talking about, oh, it's Kate Clark. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, you got them South Carolina fans who are following Raven. Raven has dedicated fans as well. We're just not gruesome and brutal as some of the other people can be. So, with that being said, viewership is gonna be up no matter what. Viewership is gonna be up no matter what. Now until it's just going to only get better and better and better. And I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, the CBA that they have now, they will definitely be renegotiating that within the next 5 years because the revenue sharing and the viewership and all of that is going to definitely change. Amazon has gotten a whole team of sports analysts and workers. Now, I do feel as though the WNBA should be like NBA TV and broadcast games, and which is they do, but they should broadcast more games like for those who don't have televised national televised games. I think the WNBA should have all those games because people may pay for the WNBA subscription. And I feel like that is an added bonus to be able to watch the games that's not on TV because that's how it works on NBA TV. That's how it works on the NFL Network. When those games aren't displayed nationally, and some games aren't displayed, it's not because um they can't be. Sometimes those local areas display their games. So I'm in North Carolina. So North Carolina games are displayed on my channel, on my national channels. And because I do pay for different streaming packages, I am able to watch some of those other games that's not within my state or my region. So let me know. But again, I think Caitlin Clark, um, she had some good moments, but running a point guard and trying to play defense and be a scorer, uh, I Indiana needs to preserve her body. I think so. It I think she needs to be move to that shooting guard and not be the point guard. I think she does better when she doesn't have to think. That's why she says she's the queen of transitions. But when you don't have to call plays and you don't have to think and run an offense, you are the queen of transitions. You will be the queen of transitions because that's just getting a stop on defense, heading down the other way, getting a steal, or they turn the ball over, or the opposite team go early in the shot clock and your team get a rebound. Let's talk about that. Indiana is getting beat on the boards. They were beat on the boards with New York as well, but not as bad. They had a little bit more energy, I think, when they played New York. And of course, New York was still figuring out their lineups and stuff. So a lot of their main players didn't play a whole lot of minutes. So it looked different. Okay. So now that Indiana has had 2 preseason games, you see them when they are playing a team who can run with them and who can rebound, you see where they can compare and when they differ. Rebounding and defense is the main 2 things that I saw that Indiana need to work on. So if y'all don't agree, let me know. Let's talk about it. So if I'm rating game 1 versus game 2 preseason. I'm gonna give Indiana about a C. And I really think, Dallas brought the intensity, and I think everybody knows it's that chip on the shoulder, but I think, and then Dallas is young, guys, and Indiana wants to build a team around Caitlin Clark, and in order to do that, they're gonna have to get younger too, but they're not guaranteed to keep getting the number one pick, or high picks. I think them getting a 10th, a first round 10th pick was pretty high for them making it how they did in the playoffs. Um, I mean, I'm gonna leave that there. But I just wanted to come on here and say I rate them about a C. Defense and rebounding, in the words of Pat Summitt, those win championships. Okay, scoring only wins games. She was big on that. So if that's my advice to Indiana, and that's my take on Indiana Fever and their game. Again, Raven Johnson was that girl on defense. She has been. She's on a defensive tear right now. So, and she was guarding the post. She was down in the post. So I think she's doing a great job. Her scoring is gonna come. Her decision making is gonna come. Sometimes she may get too much in her head of trying to figure out what is gonna work, but that's gonna come once she start getting more and more comfortable with the different players and the schemes that they're trying to run, and and the personnel that she's out on the court with. So that's my take. I will be back. Probably not today, but this video will be up today. It is officially May 1st. So this post will be up today. I am going to make a post on just kind of like the goals side of it. I am a former teacher, so I am going to be discussing some goals regarding teachers, teacher pay here in North Carolina, and what's happening in our area. So if you're interested, send me in some topics, some questions that you may have. I'm going to also cover something with parents advocating for their children, especially those on the autism spectrum. All right. So thank you for watching. I will be back posting another video here soon. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for joining us. And this is Goals and Game Plans Podcast. And I am your host, Jaleesa. Or Joe Smith Coleman is what it says on my advertising. So this is me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. All right, I gotta go. All right, bye.